Welcome to the Christmas edition of Down at the Barns. Behind me here is a vehicle really steeped in history. The 1972 Paul McCartney and Wings tour bus. So it's not so much band on the run, it's more band on the bus. Let's take a look. You're watching Down at the Barns, following the stories of people and their love of classic cars. Everything from restoration to electric conversion. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. So we're inside the bus now, and this is Brad. And Brad, when you got the call from Tom about restoring the bus, what was your thoughts?
Straight away. Well, he emailed me and I rang him up within 15 minutes and said, I've got to do this bus.
Brilliant, yeah.
My mum's a huge McCartney fan, and he said, you ain't seen it yet? I said, don't matter, I'm doing this bus. Well,
yeah. He was keen to get the job done then?
Definitely, yes.
So, from the process of where it first turned up, how long has it taken to get it to this point?
16 months it's taken.
Right, okay. And is it you solo, or you got other people on it with you?
No, it's a team of 6 of us here.
All right, okay.
I've been on and off, each person with their own skills, doing their own bit.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
So, mainly what have you focused on your part in this bus?
My part in this bus has been the metalwork on the outside,
right,
and final fit windows and seats and tables and stuff like that.
And what sort of condition was it in when it arrived? Was it really bad?
Really bad, yeah. When we started putting the panels off, there was almost sawdust raining from it, where the frame had just completely rotted away.
Right, okay. And how long had it been standing for? Do you know before it got?
I believe it was 24 years. It sat out in Tenerife.
Right, yeah, because it was in the garden, wasn't it? Just left out in the garden.
Around the side of the guy's house, yeah,
which is a real shame, just rotting away.
Yeah, it really was, yeah.
So did Tom get it from there over to this country?
I believe it was a guy called Justin who brought it back here.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason he couldn't afford or didn't want to do the restoration. Tom stumbled across it whilst looking for a vintage guitar. Yeah, I heard that, And bought the bus, and restoration began down in Devon.
Right, okay.
I believe they ran out of time or had other commitments. Tom looked for somewhere else and come across me, and
that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
So have you resisted putting any sort of modern things in it? Have we got any USP points or anything like that? Is it?
The only thing is the fold-out stage and the wiring. The wiring's up to modern day standards.
Yeah, okay. And the bus was built in 1953. It's built in Bristol, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Is it the Bristol Coach Works? Was it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Which is great. And the engine in this, I think, is a Gardner engine.
That's right. Yeah.
And they're known for going for quite a long while. They're really good, aren't they? Now, definitely. So what was the engine like?
When it got to me, it was all running mechanically. This bus, it ran, drove, stopped, done everything it was meant to do by the time it got to me.
Right. Okay.
The guys down in Devon had sorted that out.
Yeah. Okay. Now, our cameraman Kevin, he's sitting in Paul McCartney's chair, isn't he?
He is indeed.
He's in the seat. So Paul and Linda would have sat there. So we'll have a little shot of that in a moment.
Yeah.
And how do we know they sat in that? So what's the evidence we've got of that?
Multiple photographs.
Oh, okay.
But every photograph of Paul inside this bus is sitting
That
there.
was his favourite seat.
That is where he sat. Yeah. There's even a picture of him with his feet up on this table.
Oh, okay. Excellent. We'll have to try that in a minute. So it's the idea of the bus also, what Tom was saying, is to inspire musicians to come on the bus and all of that type of thing, which is really, really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And you were at the NEC a couple of weeks ago. What was that like, that experience?
That was great. It was really good. A lot of people engaging in it. I got to meet Tom Salter, part of the original management team for Paul McCartney in '72, which was amazing to meet him. But people's reaction to it was great. Yeah.
Because Tom Salter, he designed the actual look of it, didn't he? The actual paintings of it? Is that originally?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I know Tom was heavily involved.
Yeah. Because Tom Salter had a shop in Carnaby Street called The Gear, and it sold posters and unusual sort of psychedelic pictures.
Yeah.
And again, this bus, obviously, it's kind of got the vein of the Magical Mystery Tour bus as well, hasn't it? It's that sort of feeling about it. It'd be quite nice for the two to meet up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It'd be quite an interesting thing to do.
Take a stand, move your hand someday. In your eyes, no disguise. One day, I look out for you to soothe away the blues in your eyes. In your
this is where Paul McCartney would have sat with Linda. You're in Paul's seat. I'll pretend to be Linda here. Right, okay, which is good. With our vegetarian meal out on the front, which is really, really nice. We possibly think that maybe he wrote a few songs on this bus as well.
It's very possible.
My Love, maybe. Should have been a good. Live and Let Die could have been written on here, because obviously he went off to write the Red Rose Speedway album once the tour was over. And as you say, you could have overseen everything from this position. But there's another story about these chairs, because we think they possibly could have come from the World Cup bus.
That's right.
Because it was parked next to it, is that right?
It was both buses were owned by the same company at the same time when the fit out happened.
Yeah.
And so it's a very strong possibility they nabbed bits off of the other one.
Yeah.
To make this one.
Wow. So not only have we got seats that Paul McCartney sat in, possibly World Cup heroes as well.
Yes.
Quite interesting, isn't it? That is really, really interesting. Yeah. Can you show us that intriguing case in the corner?
Yeah.
Right, this is a really interesting piece of memorabilia. Who did this belong to?
This belongs to Denny Seiwell.
Denny Seiwell, yeah, who was the drummer in the Wings lineup at the beginning after they made the Wildlife album. And he's donated this to the bus, hasn't he?
He has indeed, yeah.
Which is very nice of him, isn't it?
Very nice of him. Yeah.
So has he been on the bus?
No.
Hasn't been back?
No, he hasn't been back, but he sent us his trunk as...
So how did that come about? So you, obviously Tom got in touch with you, you started doing it. Did he then get in touch after that, or what happened?
I believe Tom got in touch with...
Oh, with him?
With him.
Oh, right, fantastic.
And then there's a nice letter somewhere as well that Tom has that Denny sent with the trunk.
Yeah, okay.
Sort of
which is lovely.
Congratulating him for doing something good. You know,
yeah. It's great having it. And he signed it as well on here. It's got the actual signature as well, which is brilliant. No drums inside?
No, I'm afraid not.
That would have been a nice touch, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
Now, originally this section of the bus would have had a fridge.
Yep,
washing machine.
A little sink and a little mini kitchen for Linda.
Yeah.
There's some pictures again of Linda standing here loading the washing machine, I believe.
All right, okay, yeah, fantastic. And then upstairs it gets interesting again, doesn't it? I'd like to take us up there. But before we do, I want to talk about these rather interesting curtains we've got here, because Brad's wife made those.
That's right, my wife Hannah.
Thanks, Hannah, because they look great actually. And how long do they take to do these curtains?
For 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks of evenings.
2 weeks of evenings, fantastic. They look really good, and obviously they look just like the originals, which is brilliant. Yeah. Okay, so opposite where the fridge and the washing machine would have been is this little item here, because you've recreated what?
I've recreated the bunk beds.
Yeah.
That Stella and Mary would have slept on during the tour.
Lovely. That's really, really sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's an exact replica of what it would look like, or
yes,
it is. Right. Okay. And did you make this yourself?
I had a woodwork guy build it, and then we helped fit it.
Oh, brilliant. What's his name?
Ray.
Ray. Well done, Ray. It's a nice job. It looks really, really lovely, doesn't it? Really nice. And underneath here, like compartments to keep clothing and stuff like that, I guess, yeah?
This is an additional feature that I wanted for more storage on the bus.
Right, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to go with it.
Yeah. It's smashing.
Storage is key.
Yeah. Right, we're on the top deck. Okay, so up here, this would have been a playpen area for the kids, is that right?
Playpen area and the band's laid up.
And the band's laid up here as well, yeah. With the guitar hanging out on their bean bags.
Yeah.
I've seen the photographs of them on the bean bags, yeah, I've seen all of that as well. Now, Tom's idea was fabulous for this, because he's made it a bit of a sound stage, hasn't he?
That's right, yeah.
So you cleared this out. These seats, though, they would have been like this?
Yeah.
That's the same, both ends, that would have been the same.
Yeah.
But you've cut in this lovely drop down, haven't you?
That's right, yeah.
So, what's that all about? How does it work?
It's two sort of tripod bits that stand on the floor, and then it slows down onto it.
Lovely.
And it's a viewing angle for bands to play.
Yeah, brilliant. And when you was at the NEC, some of the bands actually played, didn't they?
That's right, yeah.
Who did you have?
We had the Paul McCartney Story on the Friday, the TR5s with local Paul Murphy on the Saturday.
Brilliant.
And then we had Howie Casey.
So Howie Casey, because Howie Casey goes right the way back to when the Beatles started in Liverpool, isn't it? He was a band at that time, and he played on the 1976 gig with Paul McCartney. So he came back. Did you get a chance to meet him?
I spent most of the day with him.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. That's really, really good.
It was really good.
Yeah, that's a good gig, wasn't it? Watching that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how's it been for you, sort of, working on these sort of things, to go from this to sort of a little bit of fame for you, in a sense that you've been involved in it?
It's been great.
Yeah, you enjoyed that?
Yeah, really have. Yeah, it's been great. It's been nice to... Tom started off as a customer, and he's now very good friend.
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? You've got a bond going on, which is really, really good. So up here, we've got this area here. Is this for water to run off it? That's the idea of it, is these holes, the sections, drainage sections and things like that?
Yeah.
Which is really, really nice. And all these sort of nice little fittings and things, again, is that all exactly how it would have looked?
This is all original, all the fittings.
All of that's fitting?
Original, yeah.
So you managed to get all that back and clean it up, that side of it?
Yeah.
What would you say has been the hardest thing to restore?
We fitted the reef in.
Right, okay.
70 odd glass, maybe bone rubber.
Oh, right,
yeah,
okay.
You don't want someone to break anything, so.
No.
Yeah.
That's
really,
been the hard thing for you.
Yeah,
okay. Right, Brad, there's not a lot of space in the cabin, is there?
There's not.
Now, this only does 38 miles an hour, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
So he would have gone all over Europe just at 38 miles an hour.
Yeah.
7,500 miles he covered, which is absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I heard that when it was like they knew they weren't going to get somewhere, they used to get other vehicles out to get them to the concerts. Is that right?
That's what.
Yeah. Do you know who the driver would have been back then?
No, no idea.
It'd be great to get the original driver back, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
That would be amazing. Okay. And in here, you talked about the windows earlier, how difficult getting these windows. They were a nightmare. Can you explain exactly why that was such a tricky situation?
It was just because the rubber was brand new. It had no giving in. It was solid, the rubber.
Yeah.
Holds your windows in, and obviously you don't want to break nothing.
No, of course.
There's having so much flex you get out of glass. So to give it a go, like tuning some more off and just keep going and working at it until it went in.
Yeah. It'd be nice to get Paul McCartney back to actually drive the bus, wouldn't it? That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? That'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
Can we have a look at the engine?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so here we are by the engine, the Gardner engine, which are renowned for going forever, which is fantastic. And it still ran even when they brought it back to restore the vehicle. And Brad's going to give it a go. We're going to see if we can start it up this morning. It's really cold here, so it should be interesting. Okay, Brad, give it a go. Lovely.
Yeah.
Look at that. Can't beat a Gardner engine. The paintwork on this bus is incredible, and it's a local guy, isn't it? What's his name?
His name's Matt Gunning.
Matt Gunning, yeah.
And we've done all the artwork for us. He actually stood here with a little table of paint and a picture, and
literally just stood here and copied it through. What incredible, isn't it? Yeah. And he's quite famous for a couple of other things as well, isn't he?
That's right. Matt created a little drum kids television.
Drums TV.
Yeah, the little
the car itself.
Yeah,
wow.
Car.
Okay. And this morning
he made the little model of Captain Priya that went on the weather.
The weather map. They used to jump on the weather maps. There you go. So great work from him, and he's recreated the design absolutely brilliantly all over the vehicle. It's fantastic. Back of the bus, and we have the band members decorated beautifully on the back here. We have Paul and Linda McCartney, Denny Laine, Henry McCullough and Denny Seiwell. Of course, the original lineup of Wings back in 1972, and the famous Wings logo on the back of the bus as well. One of the exciting things we've got, having restored the bus, is in this tube we've got the destination blind, Brad. So this is the original.
It is.
It is. Let's have a look at it. Look at that.
Yeah.
And then we have Berlin on there, you can see that. And what's the plans with this? Is get this sorted out and back on the bus?
No,
you're not going to do that.
No, we've had it remade for the bus.
Right.
Tom obviously has
to keep this as keep it as a souvenir, but have something restored for the bus.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, fantastic. What a nice piece of history that is, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
It's incredible to think that McCartney and Wings travelled all that way on this bus, 7,500 miles in an open-top bus. It's crazy, but that's Paul McCartney. You know, he's originally got different ideas, a way of doing things maybe a bit different to everybody else. And although they did at times come off the bus and go onto other vehicles to concerts. The fact they spent time here on this bus with his family is amazing, you know, and the fact there was a playpen up here and all those little touches that make it wonderful. The bus obviously went back to being a normal bus. Silver Line Coaches took it on afterwards, and it was painted through different colours, back to its original colours, and eventually being picked up by Tom Jennings, who's now got the bus and restored it with the help of Brad into this incredible vehicle, which hopefully for generations to come will enjoy other musicians coming on the bus, maybe inspiring them to write a classic song. Well, as Tom would say, it's been a magical history tour. It's been fantastic, Brad. Thank you ever so much for showing me around the bus. It's been really, really enjoyable. And so we're looking forward now to seeing how we go with this in the future. It'll be fantastic. So see you next time, down the barns.